Boundless Immigration News, Week in Review, September 23, 2022. Florida governor uses desperate people as props in Martha's Vineyard stunt. Last week, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis used more than $600,000 taxpayer dollars to trick nearly 50 migrants to board a chartered flight from Texas to Martha's Vineyard, a remote island in southern Massachusetts. Since that time, reports have emerged that the state of Florida hired a woman named Perla to mislead the migrants by telling them that they would be dropped off at a shelter in Boston and that there would be jobs and housing waiting for them when they arrived. The migrants were informed mid-air that they would actually be landing in Martha's Vineyard, a small vacation enclave off the coast of Massachusetts, nearly 3 hours by bus and ferry from Boston. Immigration attorneys representing the migrants pointed out that many of the migrants had been given court dates in San Antonio, Texas, some within a matter of days, yet had been flown across the country to a remote island in a cynical attempt to prevent the migrants from attending their hearings and thus being ordered removed from the U.S. The actions taken by DeSantis have prompted at least 2 lawsuits, a criminal investigation, and calls from the chair of the U.S. House of Representatives Homeland Security Committee for the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security to investigate. Republicans and Democrats differ on the top priorities for immigration. Republicans and Democrats differ sharply over what Americans' immigration policy priorities should be, according to a new survey from the Pew Research Center. In the survey, of the 7,647 U.S. adults, 91% of Republicans said securing the U.S.-Mexico border should be the top priority, while fewer Democrats, 59%, said the same. Republicans also placed a greater importance on deportation of people illegally in the country, 79%, with nearly half calling it very important. Fewer Democrats, 39%, viewed deportation as important, with only 12% calling it very important. The majority of Democrats, 80%, say creating a legal pathway to citizenship should be the top priority compared to just 37% of Republicans. Americans from both parties say taking refugee, fleeing war, and violence should be a priority, although more Democrats, 85%, than Republicans, 58%, view it as very important. Biden administration considers multi-million-dollar payout for families separated at the border. The Biden administration is considering a wide multi-million-dollar settlement for immigrant families that were separated at the border during the Trump presidency. If approved, the plan could grant around $450,000 per person in compensation. The strategy aims to resolve a large number of pending lawsuits filed by the victims of President Trump's zero-tolerance policy. According to official government figures, about 3,900 children were separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border in 2018 as part of the Trump administration's efforts to reduce border crossings by forcibly separating children of all ages from their parents. Government officials failed to properly track the separated families being broken up, with no system to match children to their parents, resulting in hundreds of families still being separated today. NVC releases Green Card Backlog report for September. The National Visa Center released its monthly report on the current immigration visa backlog. Overall, the backlog fell by a little more than 4,000 cases, which represents a 1% drop. Just over 32,000 interviews were scheduled in September, which is lower than August's number of scheduled interviews, which clocked in at about 32,888 versus September's 32,175 interviews. Though this number is somewhat lower than August, it's still higher than the median number of interviews scheduled in the past 12 months, 28,447. The NVC reports that fewer applicants' cases were deemed to be documentarily qualified in September, meaning that all the required forms and documents have been submitted to and accepted by the NVC, and that the case is ready for an interview to be scheduled. The number of documentarily qualified cases fell from 421,688 to 416,856 this month, making September the 4th month running that the number of cases ready to be scheduled for an interview fell. Meta and TikTok profit from human smuggling acts. Facebook Marketplace is making a profit from classified ads that promote safe passage from Mexico to the U.S. Meta does not monitor ads related to human smuggling, even though many of them are scams, which take advantage of people in vulnerable situations. According to a report published last week, human smugglers, frequently called coyotes, often advertise their services on Facebook Marketplace, as well as in local or regional buy-sell groups on Facebook, where their offers to take people across the border mingle with ads for things like motorcycles and used cell phones, giving migrants the false impression that arranging a trip to the U.S. is as easy as ordering household products online. Coyotes also make frequent use of WhatsApp, which is also owned by Meta, to communicate with migrants. The reports also found that coyotes openly advertise passes to the U.S., despite the platform's content policy prohibiting posts promoting human smuggling. Those are this week's top immigration news headlines. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Boundless for the latest in immigration news. Thanks for watching.